Grace and peace, everybody. Welcome to Berean TV. Somebody said, Berean, the white man messed up Christianity and you black folks still don't want to abandon ship. And then he went on to say, we don't need a bunch of these mega churches in the hood. Why don't you make a video on that? I get some interesting comments. One thing I can say is people are definitely just questioning the whole Christianity thing. There's a great attack on Christianity in general. In general, there's a great attack on Christianity. When we start talking about the white man messed up Christianity, it's interesting now, and he's been a follower for a little while. It's interesting that they're not saying, at least this gentleman and a few others, they're not saying that white folk invented Christianity because of polemics, because of various things that we've put out there. They went and done a little bit of reading, so they know that Christianity was on the continent prior to Rome, prior to the Roman Catholic Church. There was a Catholic or universal group of believers, and in Africa there was a stronghold of Christianity. It was with far as spirituality that was really acknowledged there throughout the whole Middle East, Levant. It began to spread, Syria, Damascus, and all of that. But so when we start saying the white man destroyed Christianity, that's a touchy subject. I understand what he's saying as far as using specific portions of scripture dealing with slavery and stuff like that. Recently, Richard Smiley and other people are saying it now, but the most popular person is Richard Smiley, that came out with the fact that he thinks specific verses of scripture were put in the Bible by the white man, for the slave trade and everything, and to keep a certain people oppressed. And that's something a lot of people are beginning to question. But in all actuality, you can't really claim that, because there's manuscript evidence that supports that various scriptures were intact the way they came down, the transmission, the way that we received them, with little to no tampering. We have little problems here and there, and that's textual criticism. That's a whole different thing. But the main reason is why we're not abandoning Christianity, those that are knowledgeable, is because when it comes down to it, the white man didn't invent Christianity. The white man didn't write the Bible. And these are some serious things right here that we have to look into when you're talking about, Europeans attempting to control everything and take over and all of that. And that falls kind of under conspiracy. But it's understandable in light of a lot of things that's going on in the country, and has always gone on in this country, with racist Europeans, people attempting to oppress different groups, specifically blacks in this country. And it's definitely understandable, and we're going to be dealing with a lot of hard questions in class coming up. That's something else. But I'm going to address the other thing, the mega churches in the hood. When we start talking about mega churches, they don't represent all of Christianity. When we talk about Christianity in general, they don't represent all of Christianity. And you got to be careful how you're addressing us more. I'm saying I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but more knowledgeable people, because humanity in general, we're a spiritual people. When you start talking about mega churches and trying to bang on the black church, I tell you to look broader. When you go back to mega church, some people will tell you the mega church came from ancient Kemet. They had temples and pyramids that took 20 years to build. Average mega church running around here was going to take 18 months, 2 years to build an 10,000 seater, 20,000 seater, 3 years, 20 years to build a temple. Just Google ancient temples in temples in the ancient world. All over Memphis, Luxor, all over Egypt, there were temples. So Babylon, all over the world. So we can't really deal with that. Even when we come to Americas, you can't eat through the Americas back in the days. You can't even say that, because people have always had grand temples. People have always respected the priest and the shama and the different people that can see into the spirit world and give wisdom. The ancients have always been respected. So when people start trying to say now, preachers doing this and the church is doing that, you have to look at you have to look at it a little more broad than that when we're dealing with spirituality. There's been mega churches, there's been mega structures and temples all over the world, because man is spiritual and man is in search for God. And that's basically how I can answer that. Even modern temples, if you just Google a Lotus Temple of India, they have beautiful mega structures, and it's all dedicated in India. It's dedicated to the three main deities, but there's temples all over the world, and man's been worshiping and been acknowledging the spirit realm. The priests have always, even among every single culture, the priests have always lived on a certain level, because the information that the wise men gave had to do with your spiritual life and the spiritual realm and the life beyond. I know y'all would see a lot of people these days, and they will attempt to tell you, oh, Egypt, the Netas, it wasn't really about the afterlife. They lying. They lying. It was all about the afterlife. And Egypt and other places, they clearly said, whatever you do in this life shall follow you over into the other. I appreciate the questions and stuff coming in. I'll try to answer them as I can. Hopefully this will help you out, brother, but just don't bang on the church. You know, heavy is the head that wears the crown. Everybody want to bang on the church. And a lot of people don't understand. Christ said specifically that you'll be hated for my sake. So we understand that certain hate is going to come. And it's crazy because a lot of the hate that's coming is unwarranted. It's built on pseudo scholarship and pseudo history, because people are upset, specifically people of African descent, because of white folk. Because of white folk and what some white people have done. Like I've said in multiple videos, you can't lump them all together. My name is Brother Berean. If you like what you heard, subscribe. Thanks for watching.